So we got the reveal of Izuku's new quirk in this chapter, and it turns out that it's the third user of One For All's quirk. So that means the only quirk left to discover for Izuku to have is going to be the second user's quirk. But before I go into breaking down what the third user's quirk is, let me give you some context as to what's going on in this chapter and what essentially forces Izuku to use it. So Izuku's like darting around the city in this chapter trying to outwit Lady Nagant, who is firing off on him from a distance because All For One gave her airwalk, so she's like hovering in the sky right now trying to pick off Izuku with her rifle quirk. But she almost winds up getting the better of Izuku, and he eventually gets to the point of where he just plants himself and activates the 6 user's quirk smoke screen, but the full throttle variant of it, which I guess is just using its maximum power to where he's filling, like, it looks like multiple city blocks with smoke. And then the vestige of the 6th user comes out and says releasing too much smoke is a pretty risky move. The enemy is a so-called flying artillery battery. She'll hit you as soon as you leave the smoke, so you've got nowhere left to run. And Izuku's like, I'm not going to run, I just need to buy some time. And then we see him like crouch down, and the 6th user's like, oh wait, that could be dangerous, I don't really recommend that. And then suddenly the 3rd user's vestige appears and says, I know what you're trying to do, but you have yet to reach that state. It's like you said yourself, first figure out how to handle 2 processes at once subconsciously. Once you've got that down, throw in another thing. This is in reference to chapter 248, back when Endeavor was training the big 3 of 1A. Izuku was talking to Endeavor about his move set and eventually got to Izuku asking him about parallel processes, and Endeavor pretty much verbatim said this. And this is why the 3rd user is referencing that. But going further, he says, you have yet to try my quirk. Before attempting parallel process, and then Izuku cuts him off and he says, I can't be too slow. If we want to stop Lady Nagant, All For One and Shigaraki will come next. I'll learn how to use your quirk right now. And then he's like fully engaged in his like crouching stance, and he seems to be like charging up, and he says, third Fajin. But first, this video is sponsored by Atlas VPN, who is currently running a huge discount on a 3-year deal that winds up being like only $1.39 per month. Now, Atlas VPN is a tool that encrypts your data and hides your virtual location. It encrypts all of the data that you send, but it's also a great help for everyday life situations, such as accessing geo-blocked libraries on streaming services such as Netflix, Amazon Prime, Hulu, HBO, and a whole bunch more. If you're watching this channel, you very likely have run into situations where you're unable to watch a certain anime series because of said geo-blocking. Well, you're in luck, because Atlas VPN just recently released Japanese VPN servers, so now you can finally taste the sweet forbidden fruit of geo-blocked Japanese Netflix. But anyway, like I was saying, they are currently running a huge discount on a 3-year deal that winds up only costing you about $1.39 per month. So please check out the link in the description. I got a nice old affiliate link in there. So if you do wind up getting Atlas VPN, you're not only helping yourself, but you're also helping your boy out too. So please check out Atlas VPN, guys. Thanks again. So Fajin is probably what this quirk is called, and I say that because I'm not really sure what the official name is going to wind up being, because when we got the spoilers yesterday, it was being referred to as Hakkei. And I looked both of them up, and they seem to more or less mean the same thing, and I'll go into the definition of this word Fajin, but I just want to go over the other stuff first. So the 3rd just said, you have yet to try my quirk, which I guess is straight up confirming that this is the first time we're seeing Izuku using it, meaning that he probably didn't use it against Muscular a couple chapters back. Now, after getting crouched in his position, getting ready to use the 3rd's quirk, he starts throwing random things that he has out of the smoke screen, like Gran Torito's cape, his backpack, and his mask. And these are all like decoys for Lady Nagant to shoot at, because she could still only currently see the smoke screen. Then at the end of the chapter, out of nowhere, like a human rocket, Izuku shoots out of the building beneath Lady Nagant and immediately grabs her arm. And that's where the chapter ends. So that was pretty much Izuku using the 3rd user's quirk here. So now let me go into what Fajin actually is. So it means to issue or discharge power explosively or refining the explosive power, and is not specific to any particular striking method. The term usually refers to a set of methods to generate and focus force, resulting in physical feats with far less visual physical expression, such as the 1-inch punch. And as for Hakkei, it basically just means to release internal force. So like I said, the same thing as Fajin, more or less. So the way that I'm seeing this is that the third user's quirk allows Izuku to have like one super exaggerated movement. Because like in this chapter, it's depicted as Izuku like crouching down and then doing like this hyper fast like Hulk jump. And also how we just talked about, it's not limited to just like one movement or one strike. I'm assuming that he could do this with virtually anything, like jumping, maybe like a sprint, or possibly even like a strike. Like he can use this in junction with like a Delaware smash or like a Manchester smash or something and make it that much more powerful, which I think is where things are headed. Like Izuku will eventually start pulling off like Saitama-esque punches. I mean, like just in theory, if he were to use Fajin with like a powerful smash attack. And also, if you've been following the channel, you know that I've been saying that the third user's quirk is probably like the thunderclap of My Hero, and it seems that that is certainly the case. Not just necessarily the thunderclap from like Demon Slayer, but that is usually always kind of like the same thing. Like stationary charge, then one instant attack. That's usually like the fastest thing, or one of the fastest things we've seen in that series. So in a way, this is like Izuku's thunderclap quirk. Now going back to the third user himself, I've talked about him many times, but he has like these support items on his shoulders that look like little mufflers, like similar to what Ida has. And I thought at first maybe that was like a heteromorphic trait of his and that went into his quirk, just like Ida's family's engine quirk. But looking further into it, it appears that that's like support equipment, like it's a part of like the vest thing that he was wearing. So I guess that just aided him in his Fajin quirk here. Like maybe that helped him control it or go in a different direction or something. And it makes me wonder if we'll possibly see Izuku have this as well, because the second user also had support gear, or at least it seems that way, to assist in his quirk, which means that, you know, maybe Izuku will need the same thing once he starts using the second user's quirk. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the video today, guys. Let me know what you think about the third user's quirk. Do you like it? Do you think it makes Izuku too overpowered? I've seen that discussion come up a few times, and it's honestly like a necessary evil at this point. Like Izuku becoming that powerful, like he kind of needs to, because Shigaraki and All For One are pretty much that powerful. They're many leagues above the other characters in this series, and if Izuku has some chance of winning without just having like this insane Deus Ex happen at the end, he's going to need significant increments of power as time goes on. But anyway, let me know what you think about this chapter in the comments. What do you think about Izuku's new quirk? If you liked the video, guys, please give it a like and please subscribe if you haven't already. Have a great day. I'll see you in the next one.